Hey guys, Mark Vogt with the VOGTLAND Outdoors. Day 3, getting ready for deer hunting season. October 1st is coming. Nice day out, about 60-65 degrees, completely overcast, threatening to rain. Perfect weather to be out here practicing. And what we're going to try today is just holding a draw and learning how to stay on point. So with the VOGTLAND shooting method, if you guys recall, I actually get to use the front of my arrow, the tip, as my front sight. So we're going to learn how to hold that point directly on our target while following it around before we take the shot. So I want to get you guys used to not being spooked and thinking that you have to draw back, let fly like it's going to leave, like that's the only time you get to shoot. Instead, you're going to draw back and try to hold it at least 10 seconds on target. 10 seconds and looking down the arrow, staring at it, putting it exactly where it needs to be. Breathing quietly until you decide when it's time to take the shot. No flinching. We got a target set out at about 20 meters away. It's broadside, it's facing left. The tide spot is going to be the head of the deer, so it's facing left. That means it's dead center. Take the bottom quarter, split that in the middle. That's about the landmark. That's this spot right behind the front leg, right here, the front elbow. There's actually a little dent in the fur. You'll see it at a distance. It gets dark because there's a little dent right there. That's what we're going to be aiming at. And what I'm going to do here is pretend it's more role playing, getting used to it. The deer's walking through the woods. I draw. I'm holding it on a particular point, on a particular point. Then I'm finally letting fly. And one thing that you'll see, a couple of the strengths that you'll see in the VOGTLAND shooting method, is that by anchoring hard under my chin, I can form a very strong triangle between this connection, this elbow, and this shoulder. Yeah, there's a little space in between here that I'm calling it part of the triangle, but it's a part of it. And it allows me to hold a draw, even on a 60-pound bow, for 10, 15 seconds, maybe 20 before I'll start to feel a little shake. And that's stone cold, no warm up, no nothing, getting those muscles worked. And then, because I'm anchoring hard like this, I'm able to actually release with just my fingers. It's that smooth release that's going to decide whether or not your arrow jumps to the left, jumps to the right, whether or not you're going to miss that deer. So that, together with the strength of being able to put the tip of the arrow right smack on your target and follow it around. Those are some of the strengths of the VOGTLAND shooting method in a hunting situation. Let's give it a try. I'm going to try to stand a little bit closer today, because yesterday I noticed my elbow was kind of covering everything up. It made me mad. So we're standing right here. The deer's coming in. I've got the distance already picked out, even as I hear them coming through the woods. I'm going to have to turn and talk right now, so we'll see whether or not you guys can hear me. I'm going to talk it out. He's coming through, and before he even crosses the path, I'm going to start drawing now. Following. Now I've got him point on. I found that little dent in his fur, I'm just waiting for the perfect shot. It's not quite here. Here it comes. And we got him. It's a little bit to the left of center, but it's not a bad shot. It's low enough. I'm going to be going through all kinds of vitals. Let's try that again. Again, this isn't like a compound bow where I pull 70 pounds, but then there's a flip where a 70 suddenly turns into 15, and I can hold 15 pounds for a minute if I wanted to. I'm holding back 60 pounds right now. 60 pounds you don't get to hold for a minute. You get to hold for about 15 seconds. And with this technique, anchoring hard under the chin, not over here at your cheek, where your hand's going to start to buckle like this. Even if my elbow starts to shake after a while, my hand's not shaking, so my release is still going to look like this, not like that. Let's try again. The deer's coming up. I already see it coming. I've already picked my gap, so I know what distance I'm going to be shooting at. I'm watching. I'm watching. I start my draw right here. I'm following with the tip of the arrow. I'm looking down the left side of the string, tip of the arrow on the target, looking for the sweet spot, finding the dent, take one more step. We got another decent shot. Perfect distance right now, a little bit to the left, but still not a bad shot. I would have picked off his heart. Last one, and again, just like the days before, I'm not coming in and doing a warm-up before I'm shooting this, because when you're up in the stand, up in a tree of any kind, you're not going to be warm, you're not going to be tight, you're not going to be strong, you're going to be feeling weak and cold and slimy and tired. Something's going to feel like it pinches. Doesn't matter if you're 50 like me or if you're a young kid, you're not going to be jumping around like you're ready to go play football. All right, last one, here we go. The deer's coming. I know where he's going to cross. I'm picking a gap of 20. That way I can shift up quick a half inch, a half a finger. If he's a little bit further out, I can actually shift down a half a finger and increase my gap. If he's coming in a little bit closer, 20 is a really good place to start. I'm watching him. He's about to cross the trail. I figure I got about a 10-second window. I start drawing under the chin, anchor, looking down the left side of the string, putting the tip of the arrow on the target, looking for the sweet spot, finding it, holding it, see if it gets any better, let go. Not a bad shot. Let's go take a look at him. That last shot was the best. I wish it hadn't been, actually. I wanted to be a good shot on my first one. You guys know this. But still, at 20 meters, we got excellent distance going on. You already got to be happy about that. Actually, that middle one was my third shot. The other two, let's take a look. It's hard to analyze the quality of a shot by looking at it directly from the side. What we got to do is look at it from up above. Then, if this is the front arm of the deer, the front leg, and I pull this out, this is where it went in, guys. So it pierced the front of his heart, pierced the front of the lungs. Not a bad shot. This one in the back doesn't look too good, but when I pull it out and put it back in, we've got penetration through a lot of vital organs down below. So the liver's down there, sure, part of the intestines, quite all right, but that deer is not going to be going anywhere. He might run because if you got lucky, maybe you got the back of his lungs, maybe. Mostly you got other vital organs, so that's not the best shot. This one, you can tell by looking at it what it's going to be. That's an excellent shot. Even while I was talking, I'm so proud. This one pierces the lung, pierces the heart. It was way down at the bottom there, so you know it's going into the vitals. Not a bad shot. Find stuff to like about your shots like that. Mentally imagine what's going on inside that deer, and you'll find yourself taking better shots. And more importantly, because you start to understand what the anatomy of the deer is on the inside, you'll start understanding and imagining what the markers, the landmarks, need to look like on the outside for you to make the hit. You're evolving away. You're graduating from needing an orange dot or a little black X or some other such nonsense sitting on the target, because you don't get those out in nature. Short one today. We're gonna call it done right there. That's a pretty good one. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. See how long. Let's summarize. By shooting broadside today and by practicing holding that draw, we were giving ourselves a larger window of opportunity. Every time you heard me talking, I was 10, 15, maybe even 20 seconds at full draw. Could have released any time I wanted to. I brought the arrow in and I held it right smack on the dark spot, that little dark dent that signifies the kill spot that you're supposed to be aiming at. And I followed the deer around as I was talking to you. I was able to take the shot that made the best sense. And if he starts to turn around momentarily, if it looks like I'm going to lose him, let fly. But at least you gave yourself the opportunity to try to improve the shot. And because you had a strong triangle, because you were anchoring under your chin, you knew that even at the end of that interval, even when your arm starts to break down and get shaky, you're still going to get a good release, because this is solid. This part can wobble up and down. If you're anchoring at your cheek anchoring at your cheek, and your shot starts to break down. Your back, your muscles start to break down. This is where the shaking is going to happen, right where you release. That's the last place you want to have it start to shake. You want to firm that up right underneath your chin. Breathing in, breathing out. Even if the elbow starts to give, the hand doesn't, and this is where the release comes. Good enough. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. Hope you enjoyed that one. Only a couple more days till deer hunting season. We'll see you out there. Cut. So, in case you guys are curious, about that makeshift deer body that I'm built for about $24. Probably could have done it cheaper. Made out of burlap sack on the outside and the Tempur-Pedic foam cut into 1 foot by foot and 1 foot tiles. You can go get some mattress topper on Facebook Marketplace. Probably get a new one for about that same price. Just use that Tempur-Pedic foam. Is kind of closed cell-ish, so it doesn't absorb a lot of water. But here's what it is after shooting this particular one. Say hi, Freckles. Yeah, you're tired. You could tell by looking at all the holes I got in it. I probably put 110, 120 arrows through it so far. Not one single fiber has been broken. They've only been pushed. They've been separated, just like shooting field tips at any other laminated bag. The field tips look like that, and when they hit, they don't actually tear, they don't break the, if you look at them, let's look at one, they don't actually break the fibers because they can't ever hit one dead on, so they go in between and just separate the fibers. What's the upshot? That bag's going to last a long time. I probably won't need to add another bag for the rest of the season. And if we look at it, the thing isn't even what? I'm an old guy and I just picked that up. It's probably about 7 pounds. Just throw it in the back of the Jeep. And it's the right size. That it's around, around 100 and, that's a 170 to 200 pound deer. If you add the leg over here, the leg over here, the neck, a couple of pounds worth of antlers if you're lucky. But you're looking at, you know, a 40-inch long body and 23-inch from top to bottom torso. Yeah, look at Freckles. You're 45 pounds. You're bigger. It's bigger than you are. So give that kind of a target a shot. More importantly, you want to be shooting something that's the same size as the deer, because remember, guys, when you're out there bare bow shooting, you're also trying to measure the distance all by yourself. Now, in fact, let's go off on another lesson. You're in your stand right now, and you're going to go and actually walk over 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Close enough. You're marking off all of these trees in the area that you know that that's where the 20-meter tree is. So the next time you see a deer, what you're going to do is actually look over at the 20-meter tree really quick, draw a little radius in your mind over to where the deer is, and then decide, is the deer further or closer? And you're going to use that tree as a way of trying to judge the distance. Then you're going to go over there to the 15-meter tree, and you're going to swing that tree. You're going to look at that distance, and you're going to swing over to where the deer is and say, is the deer closer or is the deer farther away? And you're going to use those facts of where you measured those trees. You're going to use those facts to try to help you gauge what the distance is that the deer is coming in. So use those things. That's the next lesson, though, is learning how to gauge distances. It's not going to happen today. We're going to do it tomorrow. We'll see you out there. Bye.